Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Austin here. Today I'll be reacting to Hermitcraft 8, Episode 31, Mooners. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen in this episode, but if you guys are excited for this, please go over to Mumbo Jumbo's channel, subscribe to him, and show some love on this video as well that he uploaded. And the link to this video that I'm reacting to today will be in the description below as well. So if you want to support him, you can just follow that link, and you can support him in that way if you so wish. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you like my videos, please subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe later if you want to. Enjoy the video.
This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN, and this hat might just be the best thing I have ever seen in Minecraft ever. Now I'm just going to choose to ignore the fact that the number plate is now completely incorrect. I'm no longer the CEO. Unfortunately, janitor wouldn't actually fit on a number plate, I don't think. But you know, I don't know how long I'm going to be janitor for, because, well, this gigantic flying eyeball up here dropped a huge number of Ravagers down into the bottom area, and I can't help but notice that there are no Ravagers down here. Now, I actually wasn't here for the Great Ravager explosion. I was away, so that means that the first task I would have had as janitor, the first cleanup operation, I actually wasn't here for. I got fired as CEO because I wasn't really turning up to meetings, and now I haven't turned up to my first cleaning job. This could be an issue. I guess we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. For now, I'm looking over at our statue right here, and it's looking rather fantastic. But there is a small detail that's missing. Why do I feel so ridiculously short now that I'm off the horse? I'd gotten used to this height. Now everything feels massive. I haven't played Minecraft for a few days. My brain's gone weird. This thing is looking rather good from the front, but not particularly good from any other angle. And because my name doesn't start with G and end in N, I actually need to do something about this. Now, unlike the front where I had a meticulous plan, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I have got absolutely no idea what I'm going to do for the side or the back, but I'm sure that's fine. The back itself is not going to be pretty in the slightest because absolutely no one views the bottom area from behind, so I'm not going to worry about that one too much, but the sides definitely need to be at least somewhat okay. Now, I'm hoping I should have all of the resources I need to actually construct this thing in my chest. If not, tears will flow from my eyeballs. I also really need to restock my little XP grinder because I'm now having to travel very, very far to repair my elytra. Right, so stage one of this process is adding a little bit of detail into this massive brick slab that I constructed on the side of this guy's arm. And actually, I should probably work out how big this arm needs to be, because currently it's a little bit too slim. Maybe, how many blocks is this? Is this 8 blocks? So I guess it makes sense that this one would be 8 blocks back. How does this look? How does this look? How does this look? It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's distracting. Bad. Wow.
That is, wow.
What? That is like, what? It's gotten, it is getting bigger. There's no way it was this big when we first noticed that it was big. I mean, look at the sun. Oh, I feel like I should be concerned. You know what? I'm not, because I know that I've been a good person this season. You know, all the peace, love, and plant stuff, haven't killed a thing. I welcome all events and happenings on the Hermitcraft server. I think our lunar neighbour means well, and I'm sure everything will be fine. In fact, I think I'm going to make the moon a cake. We'll get onto that in a little bit. First, I need to work out what I'm going to do with these arm pieces, and I think I have got a bit of an idea. So essentially, I'm extending round the little thing that we had on the front, and I imagine it will look pretty cool. So, yeah, that looks good. Oh, that's actually worked out really nicely. Okay, I think I should probably do the extension bit as well. Maybe run that down the arm slightly. Moon big. Awesome. I'm really, really happy with this. This has come together perfectly. I've mimicked a lot of the stuff that we had on the front, on the side as well. So that's looking great. All of this is looking really, really cool. Now, the side of the head is going to be an interesting one because, well, it needs to go back further than the arm. That could look a little bit strange. I am very much unsure of what to do here. I really don't know what to do. Sit and make groaning noises to myself while in my chair, stare out the window for a little bit, rub Kubo's belly for a while, and then decide to do a time-lapse. And in this time-lapse, you can see that the ideas actually came relatively quickly. You see, I was overcomplicating things quite massively in my head about how I was going to build this thing, when in reality, the star of the show of this build is, of course, the front. You know, that's the thing that you're going to be looking at. And the sides, they don't really need to do much to just be functional and look good on the build. You see, if the sides were all chaotic and crazy, I think it would actually be too much for the eyes to take in, so I'd say I've done a good job. I've especially done a good job on the back. I really
I
am
did
becoming a builder.
backglaw.
This might just be my new favourite view of the statue. Oh my goodness, it looks even worse from back here. I mean, this is definitely something. This is definitely something. I actually can't see it because it's obscured by my ridiculous hat. Look, okay, here's the thing. Botum is never, ever, ever viewed from this angle. Nobody comes back here. There is nothing in this direction other than occasional farms and things, but no one's ever back here. No one goes here. If you're here, you're lost, you're in the wrong place, you're the weirdo. You're not meant to be there, okay? It's like saying that the Taj Mahal is a horrible building because you accidentally ended up in the garbage area. No, you're in the wrong place. I'm sure some parts of Machu Picchu aren't exactly gorgeous. The Eiffel Tower could look like a big old pylon if you're viewing it from the wrong angle. And the Colosseum is considered one of the wonders of the world, yet it's only half finished, so I think I've got a free pass. I think before I receive a collective punch from many different people in many different countries, we should probably move on to a message from today's sponsor. This is Vicky. Vicky is a nasty person who wants to steal all of your data. What are you going to do to stop her? Use the Data Protectron 4000, of course. With its state-of-the-art technology, it deploys a tactical smokescreen when it detects people creeping on your screens. Another attempt foiled. And if you need extra security, optional light alarms are available, because if you can't see your screen, no one else can either. Or, you know, you could use ExpressVPN. You see, the thing is, when you're connected to the internet without a VPN, your internet service provider can see all of the sites that you're visiting. And if you're on an unencrypted internet connection, then a hacker can intercept this and steal your sensitive data. ExpressVPN prevents this by encrypting all of your online activity, meaning your data is kept secure and private. And a nice juicy bonus of this is that you can choose what country to connect from, meaning you can access content that otherwise wouldn't be available to you. For example, to my friends in the United States, Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is one of my personal favourite films, is not actually available on your version of Netflix. Now, if ExpressVPN didn't exist, I would suggest leaving the country, but thankfully we have ExpressVPN, so you can just connect to a server in the UK and then you can watch Fantastic Mr. Fox to your heart's content. So if you want to find out how you can get 3 months free, head over to expressvpn.com/mumbo.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is honestly like a really good movie. I haven't watched it in a while though.
Link down in the description. Why do I find making those so much fun? So the moon is big. Okay, there's no denying it anymore. This thing's ridiculous. I mean, look at the Boat and private jet. That thing used to be so impressive. Now it's completely dwarfed by our lunar neighbour. Now there are two ways in which you can process the information the moon seems to be expanding or getting ever closer. You could either panic, really panic, be terrified, or you could take the peace, love and plants approach and embrace it with open arms. I, for one, am a big fan of the moon. The moon has never done anything to hurt me, so why should I be afraid of the fact that it seems to have expanded quite significantly? I'm sure it means well. I'm sure. You know, it's the underappreciated out of the two things that orbit us. You know, everyone talks about the sun, nobody talks about the moon. Well, now everyone's talking about the moon. I love the moon, okay? Moon, I love you. And to be frankly honest, son, I think you're overrated. You know what, I'm just going to say it. I love the moon so much that I'm going to refer to myself as a mooner. I'm now officially a mooner. And when you officially become something like a mooner, you're going to have to build something that shows how official being a mooner is. I can't just walk around calling myself a mooner. People will think I'm weird. But if I walk around calling myself a mooner and then say, look, there's a mooner temple, people will then be like, you're weird, but you also do have a temple, so maybe that makes it okay. Whoa. I'm guessing the earthquakes are happening because I haven't built the temple yet. I should get to work on it immediately to avoid any more of that action. First things first, I need to flatten out this area to make space for the temple. It's not going to be ridiculously massive, but it has to be decently big because, well, the moon is decently big. Like, imagine you are the moon, right? And you are absolutely enormous. And then some small thing on a small little planet underneath you builds a temple that's like the size of an ant. You're not going to be that impressed, are you? You know, you have to at least make you have to make something at least of a decent size. I'm sorry, Phantom Boss. You probably won't be missed. I don't even know why you're here. It's now time to do some designing. I've come up with an idea that I think is going to end up looking really, really cool. So it's this kind of cyclical little temple area right here. Cyclical meaning circle, I hope. Although in the previous episode I didn't know what an adjective was, so I'm not doing so well on the vocab front. So we're going to have little statues on each one of these plinths, and then in the centre we're going to have one main statue, and that is going to be like the focal point of the entire build. And then we're going to do a little bit of lunar terraforming and a little bit of block changing action and some redstone, and it should end up looking really, really cool. Did I mention it's going to look really, really cool? I don't know if I've been clear enough that it's going to look really, really cool. So these statues that I'm working on are actually based off a design by xGoldRobin on Instagram. I've seen a number of these sorts of statues over my time making Minecraft videos, but this design right here is by far the best one that I've seen. I'm really hoping that this looks good and I haven't completely built this wrong, although I really feel like I have completely built this wrong. I mean, I guess I'm about to find out. I'm kind of scared right now. And does it look stupid?
Well,
it does look. Does it look wrong? I feel like it might look better in the day, but then given this temple is specifically designed to be viewed at night, that might not fly. We might need to come up with something slightly different here. And after a lot of head scratching, this is what I've managed to come up with. It's a very subtle variation on the design. I've reduced the height of it a little bit. I've swapped out a lot of the cobblestone for stone bricks, because they do a much better job at showing differences in angles. I think a lot of the differences in angles and depth and things were being lost when we just had smooth stone and cobblestone. So now that I've added in the stone bricks, it just gives it that texture. You can actually see the shape of it. So I'm pretty happy with this little design right here. This is going to be part 1 of 8 out of our border wall. So they are going to be surrounding the statue that is going to go in the center. Let's see how it looks for 2 of them. It looks pretty good, and I accidentally built this one without a mouth, but I think I prefer it, to be quite frankly honest with you. This guy looks like he's doing like a cheesy grin. It looks like he's getting his school photo taken. Oh, I don't know how I didn't notice that before. It's like such a cheesy grin. Number 3 is now built. Number 4, number 5. Somehow I lost count, but this is number 7. Where did number 3 sneak in? Where did it come in? And now we have all 8 of these little guys. And this zone right here is looking really, really cool already. Like, this is the right sort of vibe. And the best thing about the boundary of our Muna temple being made of statues is that I now personally count these guys as being Moonas. So there's now 9 Moonas on the Hermitcraft server. And Pearlescent Moon is online, and she's obviously a Moona. I mean, she's got her name already. So that means that we're in double digits. Moonas for life. So with these things essentially all finished, there's a little bit of redstone that I want to do with them, but in terms of looks, they're all done. Now it's time for us to move on to the central section of this thing, which is going to be difficult. But I do have a cool idea, and hopefully it looks good. It has cost me an absolute fortune already, though. 9 diamonds for 3 stacks of birchwood. I mean, what on earth? What is this, the Ferrari of birchwood? I guess only the finest for our new lunar neighbour. Anyway, I'm just starting work on building up this structure here, and you best believe I'm going to completely mess this up. I mean, this can only go badly. I'm basing this idea on a number of Google images and kind of rough references, and just the proportions are going to be so difficult to get right. So just remember, even though a lot of you object to me saying this, I'm not a builder, alright? So just prepare your eyeballs, okay? This can only be going badly. Right, let's see if this external shape is correct. I sincerely hope it is roughly correct. It's like a terrible Mojang logo. Okay, I definitely feel like this needs to be a tiny bit more gradual, maybe? Something like this. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's a lot better. Okay, if I start getting the blocks into the center now, so we actually start getting this crescent feeling. By the way, I'm building a moon, in case you hadn't quite realized. Then I feel like we could be onto a winner here. This is a bold move, but I'm removing all of the scaffolding before I take a proper look at this thing so I can get a good first impression. Here we go, here we go, here we go. And moon.
Ooh. It's not bad.
Hey, that's not actually bad. I feel like I just need to cut into that little block right there, and we actually have ourselves a proper crescent. Yeah, I would say that looks about right for like a stylized moon. We're not going for accuracy here. That looks really, really cool. Maybe I am becoming a builder. There is just one block that I don't particularly like, which is that one there. No, I don't like this one. So what if I remove this one and then this one, maybe? And then add something there and then remove something here? Yeah. I think that's correct. I think I prefer that. And now I've added a little bit more texture into the moon, and I've also got some light sources, so at night this thing actually lights up. I'm happy. But it was still 1 block wide at that point in time, so now it's time for me to expand it out to 3 blocks wide. which I have, the magic of video editing. The amount that gets cut out of these videos you would not believe. And there it is. Our little Mooner temple is ready to start getting the details added. First things first, we need to replace all of this grass with more moonery blocks. Oh, by the way, I've added a little border wall around this thing, and I think it looks epic. And now with some lunar rock action going on, I think it's looking even more epic. I mean, I'm trying my best here. And I do think these have come together quite well. Like, it feels like it could be the surface of the moon in some way. I like it a lot. There is one quick thing that I actually need to do that I never seem to do, which is light this place up though. Right. So, a lot of the external parts of the build are now all done and dusted, they're completed, this thing is looking awesome. There are a few more details that I want to add eventually, and I'll get onto those in a little bit, but first, I want to do a tiny bit of redstone. I want to make it so that these guys cry during the daytime, don't cry during the night time, and send off fireworks as the moon comes up over the horizon. And all of that somehow needs to fit within this space here, which is potentially impossible. Right, let's first focus on the crying. I think the way that I'm going to have to do this is by having some dispensers out the back here. They don't look too terrible. That then get activated. And that's an issue. What if they don't have the slabs in front? It kind of looks like a mess. That doesn't really look like a face. Whereas, I mean, now that doesn't look like a face. Nothing looks like a face anymore. I guess we could just embrace the fact that the tears would flow out sideways. I mean, that actually doesn't look too bad, you know? I actually don't think that's awful. And I've done a little bit of work on the redstone, and I am incredibly proud of this tiny little system here. Look, it fits perfectly behind the dude's forehead. But if I set the day to day, then you can see crying, very, very upset. And then if I set the time to night, the tears go away. And you can see I've been doing some real experimentation here. So if I set the time to say 23,000, as the sun is coming up, it starts to cry. Now the nighttime is a tiny bit different. I think it can go to 14,000. So when the moon is here, that is when it stops crying. And I think in terms of the fireworks system, that can actually be in the ground behind our heads. That doesn't actually have to be installed in the statues themselves. And yes, that is a gigantic toilet. This redstone testing world is filled with weird stuff. For example, this is my TNT store that I designed for Hermitcraft Season 4 that Exuma told me I couldn't build because if a flaming arrow hit it incorrectly, it would destroy the entire shopping district. He was right to be concerned. So after crafting up some of the most annoying resources to craft...
But what if all the TNT blocks was covered? I don't know.
In Minecraft, I mean, dispensers can just honestly jump off a cliff. We should now be good to go. So one dispenser goes in here, one dispenser goes on this side, and then the rest happens on the top. I now have two of these things constructed, and everything seems to be going quite smoothly. And now I have all of these things constructed, and everything went smoothly. This is why it's always good to build up redstone contraptions in your testing world before you build them in survival. Did you hear that click? That was the sound of the moon going down and the sun starting to rise, so these would all have started crying then if they had water in them. Everything is going smoothly. Next piece of the puzzle is making sure that the water stops. Now, initially I was going to have it flow down off the arms, and I might still do that. I thought they would be less visible than they actually are. I mean, even with them flowing off the arms, you can still see the little ends of the glass, but I think it's less obvious. And also, you have to imagine in daylight, the water's actually going to be flowing down, so you're not really going to notice these things. Do you see what I mean? Now that I've got the water in, I don't even notice them. You know, earlier when I said it was all going smoothly, well, it's not going smoothly. It's not working. I don't know why it's not working. It's not working. And I don't know what to do, and I'm upset. Of course, I totally forgot an essential component. And now that that essential component is in place, everything seems to be working properly. These guys are crying. It's the middle of the day. Everything is going well. So let's move on to the next stage. And that is about as simple as it gets. In fact, that should be the redstone, except I'm not going to use cobblestone because you all punch me in the face. I'm a big fan of cobblestone, but a lot of you don't like it. So having one of those on each side should do the trick of launching 4 fireworks into the sky every single time the night comes. The reason that I'm only doing 4 fireworks is because the night comes around quite a lot, alright? And fireworks, they're relatively expensive to craft. Okay, so I don't want to break the bank here. Don't get me wrong, I'm a dedicated mooner. Okay, I'm a big old mooner me. but I'm not someone that's going to spend their life savings on fireworks for it, I can promise you that. So with all the key parts of this build constructed, it is now time for the...
Whoa! Earthquake.
What? Alright, I need to make myself an official mooner soon. As I say, things have escalated a tiny bit. You know, earlier on I was just saying that, hey, I want to call myself a mooner and I'm going to build myself a temple. Well, now I might have potentially created some ancient texts. You know, and I might have potentially created a bit of a ritual. I mean, it all got a little bit out of hand. Mooner ancient texts. In the year MMXX1, the great lunar neighbour will approach the hermit lands. Angered by the hermits consistently sleeping the nights away, you must surrender your beds and commit to a life of wakefulness. Become a mooner today. Our future as a server depends on it. As I say, things have escalated quite quickly. Things have escalated very quickly. I've gone from liking the moon to potentially forming a cult around the moon. If they're going to fire me as the leader of Botum, then I'll create my own thing to be a leader of. It might be a cult. That might be a bad thing. But a leader is a leader. So I guess I should probably do what the ancient texts say. I mean, they do seem to make a lot of sense. And I've got my bed right here. This guy is definitely approaching day by day. Hopefully, this will make everything better. Bit of a bell ring for good measure. Are you satisfied? Look, our lunar neighbour has sent down wakefulness, friends. Yes, I'll be seeing many more of those. Oh, look, we've got celebrations. These guys have stopped crying. Everything seems right in the world, and I have definitely made the right decision here. Yep, 100%. This is great.
Okay, so that was the last thing that I was expecting. Holy cow. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, I highly suggest that you go like the video and consider subscribing as well, with post notifications on so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys.